Let's just start with everybody being nice to each other. Can we all just be nice? There is a distinction between nice and kind. I want to talk about it. This last week, I received a newsletter from David Mead. I mean, it goes to a lot of people. He didn't just send it to me. David co-authored the book Find Your Why, which is a workbook based on Simon Sinek's work around figuring out what one's why is. It's taken from the idea that Sinek popularized. Anyway, I responded to David's email and said, "Well, this is an interesting distinction." He had presented the idea of nice versus kind, and I told him, I said, I might actually steal that for a video I'm going to create this week, and I'll make sure to give you attribution. And his response was, "I'm not the first person to talk about it," and so apparently I'm the last one to hear this concept, or it's the first time it landed. A Google search is an enormous amount of search results around organizations and people talking about the difference between nice and kind. So my fear here is that I might be just adding noise, but if I've just heard this or just tuned into it, then maybe this video is the first time that you're tuning into it, and so I hope it has value in that way. Certainly, further reading is just a click away for you if you're curious. So I'm going to do as I like to do, which is to start with some Oxford Dictionary definitions here, and then kind of work out from there. This is what I got for nice, and we're talking about the adjective version, the adjectival version of nice here. There's three. The first one is pleasant or attractive. The second one is used before adjectives or adverbs to emphasize how pleasant something is, which seems about like the first. And then ironically, the third one is kind, semicolon, friendly. So Oxford Dictionary isn't exactly teasing apart the distinction here, and it's quickly obvious why we might confuse niceness with kindness. Let's put a pin in that. Kindness is a bit more explicit in its definition. There are two. Caring about others, semicolon, gentle, friendly, and generous. And the second one, used to make polite request or give an order. Like, kindly hand me my damn book, sir. So, these are same neighborhood, but, there are some differences here. The way I see the two is that kindness or being kind isn't always the nicest thing that one can do. And so to illustrate this, I put together a few examples here, and I'm going to use my cheat notes, so bear with me. But the first one that comes to mind is I frequently cross. It's kind of a combined highway and a frontage road here in my little town in Mexico, and the infrastructure varies, and in this case we have a crosswalk at what is a stoplight where the highway actually comes to a stop. So it's not really a freeway; it's a highway. But there are different kind of motorists and different things going on. Often it's often normal for a car to stop and kind of motion me across in an act of niceness. They probably think they're being kind. What they're failing to realize is that on the other side of them, there's another car coming up at 60 miles an hour, and if I were to cross in front of them, I'd likely be a stain on the road. So this first example is, it's nice for a driver to stop and allow us to cross the road, but the kind move, and pulling from my example, would be to motion for me to not cross right now because there are other cars approaching that wouldn't be able to see me crossing. Might not seem very nice at the moment, but once I notice, oh goodness, they were like, "Hey, stop. That's an easy one. Another fairly easy one is it's nice to not hurt or kill other living creatures. I think most people would be like, yeah, that's nice. But it gets a little bit messy when we're dealing with, say, like a pet or an animal that we care for, maybe even another human. that is suffering needlessly, and the days are not going to get better for this creature. What might be nice is to not hurt them or kill them, but what might be kind. In the case of a pet, I think most people can agree that euthanizing that pet is the kind move, especially if the animal's suffering and it's just going to get worse. I'll hold off on weighing in on other forms of life, but I'll let you take that where you want to take that. It's another thing is it's nice giving people positive feedback. It is. It's really nice. It's nice receiving positive feedback. Gosh, I mean, honestly, like receiving tough feedback doesn't feel very nice. But what's kind is giving people honest and conscientious feedback, and that might mean, assuming that they are open and asking for this feedback or that you've got permission for it, it might mean telling them something that feels uncomfortable coming out, that might be kind of bad news about something that they did or that they could have done better. But, the unkind thing would be to allow them to go on assuming that the way they're doing whatever it is that you're giving them feedback on is fine, and then that creates other problems for them in their life, missed opportunities or pushing people away. That inability to be conscientious and honest in that moment is quite an unkind act. And so I offer these to you as some ways to think about these two words and see how it might have value in your life. As a coach, I'm thinking about clients who are concerned that an action they might take would not be very nice. And the question I might ask is, what is nice in this case? And what they might discover is that what's nice is what they're thinking they want to do, but maybe it's not the kindest thing that they want to do. So it's all yours.